You are unmuted. I made it sure of it this time. Very funny. Hilarious.
I know, thank you. I wanted to say, well, hello there.
Sorry, I'm playing about with Hi everybody, I'm playing about
Oh my god.
With things. Hang on a sec. This, I want this, and I don't want all of this, I just want this. Oh!
What the hell?
That did something I wasn't expecting it to, that's all.
Jesus Christ. Are you sure I'm okay now?
I mean, you've been fine the whole time. I'm just moving windows around.
Okay. I might believe you. I'm not 100% sure.
I thought you said you were going to delete me, and I was like, I'm sorry. Son of a woman.
Just done.
We went for two different references there. That's always good.
Yeah, it's always fun.
I'm going to pop out this chat because the other one doesn't want to be popped out in any way that's helpful.
What?
I'm moving windows around, Lily. I want to be able to see the chat whilst also having the light on my face properly. So.
Oh, okay, fine. You are nice and shiny now.
Yes. That's what you want to hear.
Yes.
You're shiny.
You're shiny. Oh, thank you, Thinnan. I love them too. I keep them on every day.
Oh my gosh, I wish that this would... Your thing seems to be ahead of mine always, so I've just reloaded it. Hopefully that's better. Anyway, hi everyone. I'm here now. I'm going to stop playing about with Windows and get involved with the program. We haven't done this in a couple of weeks, I'm sorry. I'm very full of soup.
It's only a week.
It's for 2 weeks. We didn't do it last week.
A week. Yeah, but we did it before that.
Yeah, and that makes it 2 weeks.
No.
Yes, it does. There's a week between each broadcast, and when we miss a week, it makes it 2 weeks since the last broadcast. That's how maths work.
Oh, gotcha. I'm clearly not Tony Stark, so don't expect that from me. Okay, thank you.
Yet.
Yes. What did I? Good soup.
Soup was good.
Yes.
My mum made some chicken soup. It was lovely.
Oh, nice. Okay, so
I should probably do the thing where I introduce the podcast, right?
Yes.
Hi everyone. Welcome to all the films we judged before. I'm Katie, and that is Lily Kay. Who else?
With the crazy hair.
Yeah, we've both decided we couldn't be bothered to, make ourselves look made over in any way, so we've gone with full. We're just here.
It's just us.
I haven't washed my hair.
Natural beauty. I washed it, and I put hair mousse on it. Is it mousse? Yeah, it is. Hence
the crazy hair.
Yeah, hence the crazy hair. Hence I'm becoming Spike nice and still. Just in time for Cowboy People.
Oh my god, it's so close.
It's so good. But anyway, things happened.
This is all dry shampoo. That's the only thing that's keeping my hair together at the moment.
Gotcha. You have a beautiful hair in real life. I can say that now because I saw it.
You did.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
It was a very good time.
I wasn't really sure what we were talking about today, so I figured we were just going to unpack the things we did together. And then probably just some of the other news happening. Do you know, I have just realised I haven't posted my link to like any other website that I'm on, so I probably should at least put it on Facebook. Oh no! It's please dark mode. Hello, live now. Come, hang. I'm very good at making posts and getting people to watch things.
You are very good at it. Very good. Professional, I would even say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me. The most professional. Oh my god.
Hang on.
Real quick. I'm just going to turn my video off and turn it back on again. So that
What's happening?
I made it. My backlight went dark, and therefore I'm all blown out again. Because this is the way it goes. So give me it. I'm here. I'm just not, Well,
it was just me for a second.
It's about the same.
You look good.
Thank you.
You look good, my friend, my dear friend. So yeah, should we just get into it? Just what's happening?
Yeah. I guess. So what do you want to do first? Do you want to talk about movie stuff, or do you want to talk about Comic-Con?
Let's do movie stuff. What would you say about
Okay.
that? Mm-hmm.
Sure. What have you been watching this week?
That's my line.
I know. I just did. I'm thinking. So you get to.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. What did I watch? Well, very important. We cannot go anywhere without talking about it. And I've been rewatching Lost in Space.
Oh yeah.
Because the last season is coming on the 1st of December in my birthday month, which I am very happy about. I am also now, I can 100% confirm that the news I was giving to you guys last stream, that I am actually getting a gift from Lost in Space Netflix, is now with my friend in London.
And very nice.
Yes. And we're gonna open it tomorrow, because there's literally a message on the package. Do not open until November 3rd. So I'm like very eager to find out what's in it. It looks big. It's a big tube. It's in a big tube. So I am my guess, and I will probably faint if that's gonna be a reality, is that it's gonna be a poster, maybe from season 3, and the big surprise would be if it would be signed by the cast. Then I'm done. I'm just gonna die at this spot. Just be like done. Because I had to realize again, and that's why I will say that please watch Lost in Space, that I absolutely love the Robinson family. I think what they did with the show is extraordinary, and not just on the visual level. I think it did win awards for special effects and the visuals. I'm not 100% sure, but it was definitely nominated. Thank you live Google.
That's me. I am live Google.
You are live Google. And the story is amazing. Once again, and it's the dangerous episodes is season 1, episode 7. I cried my eyes out again, as I always do. And in season 2, the last episode is just a tearjerker all the way. And even the episode before that, I was like, why are you doing this? Also, my message to Netflix and Lost in Space: I love you for sending me that gift. I can't wait to find out what it is. And the second message is, if you harm Debbie or kill Debbie in any way, I'm going to be very pissed off. Debbie is the chicken, by the way. I was
about to say, if you folks haven't seen the show, like me, Debbie is a chicken. I've learned that there is a chicken in the show, which is great. It's been nominated for many places. It's been nominated for Emmys twice for Outstanding Special Visual Effects. But it hasn't won either of them. It has won awards for its visual effects stuff. They won some awards in the Visual Effects Society Awards, which I've never heard of, but it won some awards there, I guess.
There you go. I did remember that they did win awards for it, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful work, and I can't believe it's gonna end. And I hope it's gonna be a happy ending, because they deserve it. They are my babies, and I need them to be okay. Aww. So please, if you haven't watched Lost in Space, you can now binge watch the whole thing, basically, if you wait till the 1st of December, or you can start now.
And then wait until the 1st of December.
Yes, and wait until the 1st of December to finish it. And suffer with me.
Won't be quite the same. I was just trying to go through in my head what I've been watching, and I realised that I think the thing I started rewatching since we last spoke, and I really had to preface this properly for people, because I had a couple of people be like, oh my gosh, and I was like, no, you don't understand, I've seen this before, definitely. I watched the first series of Sherlock again.
Sherlock. I just love it.
I went into it like, I haven't watched this in years, and I really was the most annoying person on the planet when my first time, 14 years old. First time I really got involved, like, in an internet community. It was like first fandom experience. We know this about me. I have a very obsessive brain. So
True.
I had all the
I
episodes.
can confirm.
I had all of the episodes.
Yes.
I had them downloaded, and I put them on VLC. It was the first time in my life I had a computer in my room.
Okay.
And I would put them on, and I'd literally have them just running in the background all day on my computer, to the point where I basically knew all of it. I just knew it all. All of the dialogue. I knew it every single moment very clearly. So the thing going back to it, I was kind of expecting, and I've got my beef now with Stephen Moffat and the way he writes. Big time. But I went back to it and I was surprised to find how much I enjoyed a lot of it. Because
I mean, it's very good. Like, come on.
It's very hard for me to be entirely objective about it now, because there are parts of it that I do watch like, this is giving me psychic damage, and not because of the stuff with the episode itself. It's because of the way that it got like the certain moments got like fandomified, if to coin a fake word. So it's like the really like the big like fandom memes that were like big in 10 years ago. I'm watching like, oh, this hurts. I'm being brought back to being 14 and it's not fun. But yeah, there's a lot of it that's still pretty decent. I now, as a fully, mostly fully formed adult, who knows, mentally speaking, I still have further to go. But I now appreciate the work that Martin Freeman does in that show way more than I did as a kid.
My baby.
Because like he really is like the spine of that whole thing. Because everybody else is batshit, and he's just there like, help. I'm trying my best here, and he does a very good job. But I did.
He's excellent Dr. Manson.
The big thing was I haven't gotten any further than this because honestly I got a bit annoyed with it. I finished The Great Game, which is the episode that I used to love the most, and yes, I stand by Andrew Scott is the best thing about the show, bar none. No, I'm not taking any arguments on that one. But I watched The Scandal in Belgravia kind of straight afterwards, and that is an episode that was written by Stephen Moffat, and I have never seen or witnessed a man who does not know how sexuality works any more than Stephen Moffat trying to write characters who aren't straight. Because it's just sort of, or even ones that he thinks that are straight, I guess. Because I'm just watching it like, you don't know how any of this. I've just realized I'm watching. I'm sorry. I looked over. I'm wearing a green jumper, and I have a green background, so I keep disappearing.
You are, but it's okay. It's okay.
Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, the man doesn't understand how anybody would like people work. I don't think, because it's like Sherlock in the BBC version is the most asexual coded character I've ever seen in my life. And yet, like, and they could have been really interesting with the way that they played about with that sort of like, and because the whole thing with Holmes and Irene Adler is that they're like mentally matched. Like, trouble is they make him stupid in places in order to make that work.
That's true.
And there's literally a point. There's the point in that episode where it's when Watson finds out that she's still alive. Which, by the way, he's fucking phenomenal. And again, he's so good in that scene. But she suddenly announces that she's gay, but she has a thing for Sherlock. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. You could have avoided all of this if you just called her bisexual. It's not a bad word. It's not a terrible thing for people to be. But no, it just reads like somebody who doesn't understand how gay people work or like function in any way, shape, or form. And it's just sort of like the whole thing reads as so confusing, and it like I forgot how frustrating I find Moffat's writing, because he has ideas that I'm like, that's really interesting, and then he executes them so poorly.
Yeah, that's true.
And it feels like a huge circle jerk every time he starts. It's like, look how clever I am. It's like, you're not that clever. Please stop.
I don't know. I mean, I have all the Sherlock seasons here behind me somewhere on that thing. I love Sherlock. Especially the first 2 seasons because those are the best seasons. But Martin Freeman is a freaking genius.
He's honestly, God, I mean, because 14-year-old me, very obsessed with Benedict Cumberbatch as well.
Sadly enough,
as many people were. I'm now sort of fine with him. Moved away from that part of my life. Martin Freeman really is doing like the work in that show. He's so measured, which is very fun to watch. Because Benedict's so crazy in it.
Yeah. I have so many favorite moments. Like I loved. Oh God, I haven't watched it in a while. I have to.
See, this is the thing. I hadn't watched it in. God, well over probably since the last time it aired, which was what 2017. What was that? The last series?
Yeah.
That was probably the last time I went anywhere close to it. And I think at that point we were all pretty disillusioned.
I mean,
that last series.
I was so.
The thing with it was, I remember watching the second to last episode and being like, "This feels like the most Sherlocky thing it's done in a while," and I actually really enjoyed it. And I feel like I liked parts of the last episode, but I just know that like everybody on the internet hated it. The thing that is never not funny to me is the way that people thought that the last episode was so bad that there was a rumor. There was like a really big rumor online that there was a secret fourth episode that was going to come out. That was going to fix everything.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, no.
Yep. I remember that. I was like,
very funny to me, and I will never be. I'll also just never be over that Christmas special that they did, where the villain of the piece basically ended up being a cult of feminists, and I was like, I think I'm offended by this. I think that's what this is. I think I'm offended by what this is.
I mean, yeah.
But there are parts of it that are genuinely so good, and they can really
yeah.
It's got good actors, but my favorite Benedict Cumberbatch piece is always going to be Cabin Pressure, and nothing's ever going to top that for me.
Oh yeah.
He's so good in Cabin Pressure.
Oh, he is. One of my favorite episodes was season 2, episode 2.
I haven't actually rewatched the Hands of Baskerville yet.
I love that episode, and that's where they have the argument by the fireplace. I remember that scene very well. I love that.
So do I.
I love that scene so much, and what makes me cry all the time is season 2, episode 3.
Obviously, that one made everybody cry.
John standing in the cemetery and talking to Sherlock, and I'm like, fuck you guys. every time, and then he's just standing there, that motherfucker, and I'm like,
it was really funny. That year, the year before series 2 dropped, because series 2 dropped on New Year's in 2012. Very specifically.
Yeah.
But the Christmas before that, like a week before that, was when that December was when Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows came out.
Game of Shadows, yeah.
And I had been really embroiled in all this. I'd read a couple of the Sherlock Holmes stories. I can't get to it now because of my green screen, so the way it would just mess everything up. But I have a big, like, complete collection of Sherlock Holmes stories, like a
I do have it as
hardback thing, which is very nice. So I knew the plot of The Final Problem because we were all very aware that the series 2 was going to be doing the Reichenbach Fall.
Yeah.
And I remember watching. I went to the cinema because my friends and I used to go to the cinema on the last day of term before the Christmas holidays. It was sort of a thing we ended up doing a lot.
Yeah.
And one of the first shots in that movie is like a bunch of like papers and stuff from John writing one of his many novels about his exploits with Sherlock, and it says I think on the typewriter it says The Final Problem, and I just went, oh God, I know what's going to happen. I know what the plot of this movie is immediately. I'm not prepared.
I'm wait.
Oh God, she's going.
Wait.
Oh God. I'm waiting. Yes, I was a very annoying fan of Sherlock, like to the point where I look at Sherlock fans now and I want to hit them. I was gonna, yeah, no, I just wanted to hit them. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm not joking. Okay. The first thing when I moved to London the first time in 2013, the first thing I bought.
Mine's different to that one.
And I just.
Oh, it's very nice though. I do like that.
It is.
Mine's
very nice.
I can't, like I said, I can't get it. Otherwise, it would just disrupt everything, and I'd have to move things around. Mine's red. It's very similar size, but it's got like a little picture of like one of the illustrations of Sherlock Holmes on the front, and it's just the complete collection of Sherlock Holmes stories. But it's a it's very similar-esque one, but it's got that sort of rich red cover. I've also just got my what was it? My brain is broken. When they were airing, the Radio Times used to do this thing when they'd air where they'd be like, you can send this thing off and we'll send you the books, like the books of the stories that we've kind of printed specifically. And my grandma, for both, I think, both series 2 and series 3 did that. So I've got like the Radio Times copies of them. The first series is a bit sort of, cheap and looking, but the second ones are really quite nice. Which is always very kind of her. She did that sort of thing quite a lot. Bless her.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it was just very. I'm in a bit of like a weird sort of going back in time. What's the word? Period, I guess, of being. Because I'm also started rewatching, like, because Doctor Who started again on Sunday.
Yeah.
With this new series, which is, I watched the first episode of, and I'm actually quite intrigued with where they're going with it. It seems very good. It seems more like it's in Chris Chibnall's wheelhouse to do like a series that runs one into the other as opposed to sort of singular episodes. It already feels a bit stronger than the last two series. But it meant that I've gone back and I've started rewatching from the beginning with Christopher Eccleston, and those episodes have aged incredibly well. I know that the practical effects and the special effects are all a bit, hinky because it's 2005 and a lot of it's just sort of like, oh, we need something alien looking. Let's just flash some blue lights and make it seem put some electricity noise in the background. There is a lot of that, but I literally before I started this just watched the episode Dalek. Oh my god, incredible! It's like an incredible episode. It's like they bring back this really old, like classic Doctor Who character villain from the original series, and then they go, hey, what would happen if this thing that is made to hate suddenly grew like a conscience? What would they do then? And it's like a proper conceptual sci-fi episode where they go, what if we made this thing that's made to hate feel emotion? What does it do then? And it's so contained and brilliantly done, and obviously Christopher Eccleston's fucking fantastic. Like, I genuinely, because there's some things you go back to and you're just sort of like, oh, actually this is like me with Sherlock, and it's like, there were some things you look at with sort of rose-tinted glasses and you go back now, older and wiser, and go, actually this isn't as well written as I thought it was when I was younger. But Russell T Davies era Doctor Who was actually fucking fantastic. Like, it just is. And yeah, with Russell T Davies coming back for the 60th anniversary and beyond, I'm so excited for Doctor Who to be the thing that it was kind of when I was a kid again. Maybe kind of love it a lot.
Fair. That's completely fair. One last thing I will show Sherlock related is I don't know how much you can see it.
You cannot. You are ghosts.
Cannot. Shit.
Just turn the brightness down. That's a bit better. Oh, that's very cute. Look at
That's how much I loved it.
You.
Like, we had a proper photo shoot doing
this.
Sherlock.
We so good.
We even did the running gig. That was because why not?
Oh gosh, no, it was properly because I don't engage myself in all of that fandom stuff now. I find the fandom spaces online to be toxic more than anything else in 99% of the time. But back in the day, it was like I was doing RP and like on like message boards and sort of shit like that on Tumblr, like proper like oh god, there was so much of it and all of it horrifically embarrassing.
Look, we all had those times with something.
I know,
Let's
but
just
yeah,
be honest
I have
about
to
it.
remind myself like you were a child, you were
Yeah.
a child.
It's okay. It's
You can
okay.
be embarrassing. It's okay.
Yeah, I already told everyone. I had that with Supernatural. I was like obsessed mode very heavily. I even wrote about it. Check out Couch Soup, or is this still? It's still Retro Replay, but it's gonna be Couch Soup. But I wrote about it.
It was very funny because I posted that I was watching it, and then Steph went, "Stop after series 2," and I was like, "Oh, Steph, you don't know." You don't need to tell me anything. I know everything.
Yeah.
It's that post that's like, I think there's a Tumblr post somewhere where it's sort of like, do not cite fandom lore to me. I was there when it was written.
Yet, indeed. Indeed.
Genuinely
all right.
Don't know how anybody put up with me. I was so annoying.
I bet I was annoying as well. I'm not gonna lie. I still am, because if I get obsessed with something, it's like just that.
I do still become very obsessive, but I am also very aware of myself now. Back then, I was not.
Fair. I'm the same.
It was sort of like, I only want to talk about this one thing, and it's just like, why anybody put up with me around that time, I don't know, but they did. Very nice.
That's yeah. I just saw a TikTok before we started, and it just peaked to me in volumes. I was like, oh shit, yeah, this is too real. It's like basically the guy is, trying to talk about his favorite whatever. It can be a TV show, whatever, and he's trying to talk about it, and he's very like enthusiastic and whatnot. And then the other guy is like, again, and the disappointment on that poor guy's face that he couldn't talk about it. And I was like, it's still me every day. Like, unless I am talking to you, I'm suffering here because I can't talk to anyone about these things. I
think growing up has meant that I have gotten to a place where I found a vaguely happy medium, where I know that there are times where I can't just talk about this one thing. And it does get annoying, and it's like I get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm going to stop talking about this and engage with what other people are saying now. But at the same time, when you've just started talking about something and somebody just sort of goes, I don't care, it's sort of like, ow. Oh.
Yeah. It's very, it really can be very disappointing and very hurtful. So I it's just a general message, because I know it is true in a lot of cases. Sometimes even if you don't care, but you see that the other person is very happy to talk about something, just try and listen. You don't have to agree or anything. Just, it's nice to vent out some things, and it's nice when you know that people are actually listening to you, instead of being like, ah, shit, here we go again. We can see it. It's, you're not doing it invisibly, so we can feel it if it's unwanted.
It's that thing of sort of like, yes, everything in moderation, isn't it? Where it's sort of like, if you are only ever like refusing to have any conversation about anything else, you need to shut up a little bit.
That's true.
At the same time, if your friend is really excited about something and you're actively discouraging them from it, you're being a dick.
Yeah.
That's just the way of it.
Yeah, it is. It is, unfortunately. I experience it every day. That's all I say. Not nice. But anyway, I did watch something very exciting.
Did you know?
Yes. I am so happy because my boy is back. Dieter is back in Army of Thieves.
Yes. That movie came out so fast. Like, I know. Considering the last one. When did Army of... Did that come out this year?
I think so.
The concept of time has no meaning anymore.
No, not at all. We had the talk with... I just remember that we talked about it with Bacon being here.
Yes. So I feel like it was this year. I feel like it was in that.
It was 2021.
Yeah.
It was.
So it's like the fact that movie has come out so fast. I mean, obviously they would have made them both quite quickly, one after the other.
Probably, yeah.
But it's just sort of like, wow, you're really turning around on that one, aren't you, Zach?
Yep. And it's so much fun. I mean, it was so good. Just seeing Dieter being Dieter, and even now, I will say that now, after this movie, his unfortunate death in Army of the Dead is just even more sad.
That's the trouble with prequels, isn't it?
Because
you got to go into them and like either you really have to play the line of like you play into like the absolute tragedy of the fact that this person is not going to be, you know, the fate of this person, and it either enriches the story for you, which I think is very, very hard to do, or it just completely makes it like so much more painful, and therefore you don't want to engage as much.
Yeah.
I feel like there's most prequels end up being the latter. I think there are very few like prequel things that I felt like exist to enhance the thing that comes technically after it, even if it came before.
Yeah. That's true. But I will say that Matthias Schweighöfer, I have an easier time saying it. I started gibbering.
Really just sounded like you just sort of went, I'm gonna give up on this halfway through.
I almost did, but I'm good. So he plays Dieter, and you know, obviously he directed this one, so he's the director of Army of Thieves.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's so good. And you can just feel his love for this guy, and it comes through so well in the character. And you know, this is the only thing I will spoil from the movie, because I truly encourage everyone to just watch it. It's a really good time. It's really fun. It's not taking itself way too seriously, and it's actually quite interesting. Like, even if the story behind it, I don't know if it's completely true, like about this safe maker and whatnot in there. It might be, but the funniest bit that they did is whenever he gets scared, he always has something very hot in his hand, and he always puts it on himself. And I'm not joking, that's literally me. I felt represented. I was like, yeah, every time. He's just, whoa! And it happens twice in the movie, and those are the funniest bits. I'm not gonna lie, I laugh so hard at those. I'm like, yeah, that's me right there. But very nicely done. It's they connected it very nicely to Army of the Dead, because obviously this one happens before that one.
In it.
Yeah. But there are. And they did it very well. I was very glad with how they put it into it. So nice job. And the other thing I will say, I tweeted it out on our account as well. The way that Natalie Emmanuel sounds exactly the same as Emilia Clarke is just. I was sitting there. I was watching the movie. I heard her talk a lot. Obviously, she's in Game of Thrones as well with Emilia Clarke. So I'm like, how did I not notice it? But they sound so much alike. I was like, oh, it feels like that. You know, Emilia just came in and just dubbed the whole thing for Natalie. I was so confused. I was like, oh, why do you guys sound so much alike? Well done. Well freaking done. I love my boy. I am now hoping that the whole time loop thing that Zack Snyder is talking about for Army of the Dead 2 is going to happen, and he can be back, because then I will be a very happy cheerleader over here. But I loved it. I really did. It was really fun.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I watched anything else that was like particular. Oh,
you did.
Mean, it's true. I did. I went and saw. I saw Last Night in Soho last night.
Yes. I'm gonna watch it on Friday. So
not last night, night before last. I saw it on Sunday. I worked yesterday, so yesterday was just sort of like a whole other thing. No, I watched it on Sunday. Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
That's all.
Yeah, well, I've got like. I think everything I think about it is kind of come from all the reviews that I've read about it, mostly. Like, basically everything that I've read about it, I was like, oh yes, I see exactly what this person means. I think it's a bit messy towards the latter half of the film, and I think some of the sequences are drawn out a bit too long. But there's it's still, I mean, spectacularly made, and actually made me feel quite what's the word? It was something quite not gratifying, but like comforting about watching somebody who is as accomplished in his career as Edgar Wright going in and making something brand new to him, and clearly still refining his craft, right? And being like, this movie's not perfect, but it is very good, and it feels like somebody who was just sort of trying something new. And I reckon if he sticks with doing the sort of like actually intense horror stuff, like not in terms of like Shaun of the Dead or anything like that, where it is also intended to be a comedy. No, this like straight horror thing. I think he's going to become quite impressive at it. I think he just needs to refine his timing of it a little bit, because like I said, when the latter half of the film, when it starts becoming more like horror based, I think there's some stuff that's a bit overdone to the point where it's like it doesn't become, it's not really scary anymore, and it almost becomes a bit frustrating. It's like, why are you still here? That kind of sort of thing. It's like we need to move on to something new now. But there is a sequence, I'd say about halfway through the film, when it starts to get into the horror stuff, that I think is genuinely very unsettling and terrifying. So but it's like not in the way that's like kind of obvious. It's like, because nice. I think you'll understand, because the themes of the movie become quite apparent very quickly. But there is a sequence in a club. I'm trying to be vague so that you know what I'm talking about when you get to it, but I don't want to ruin the scene. It looks like somebody's about to perform, but she's not. So that's what I'll say. I think you'll get it when you see that. But like the mood of it, and like how it was kind of put together, I was sort of sitting there going like, oh, this is quite uncomfortable actually.
Nice.
Good. It's not the most like obvious horror thing. I think it's more sort of uncomfortable in terms of what the theme is.
Okay.
So we can talk about it more properly when you get a chance to watch it. But like, yeah,
it's gonna happen.
I think it's very good. I think it's I very much enjoy the fact that this is sort of his first very female-led movie. It was co-written by a woman whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head, and I'm so sorry. But it feels very obvious that there was like a female influence behind the writing and everything, because yeah, I think it's fascinating to consider, and I did really like it.
No, good.
Louis really liked it. He didn't have any issues with it. I was like, I think it's a bit long in places and this sort of stuff. He goes, I was like, all right, I guess it works for some people.
Nice. I mean, it has a really good score on Rotten Tomatoes as well.
Yeah, and like I said, it really does feel like if he decides to keep going down this path of doing like really big horror, like pure horror stuff, I think he can be spectacular at it.
And he already showed the potential in previous movies as well. So like, especially in Shaun of the Dead, that it's there.
Yeah.
He understands. He definitely understands, and I will keep saying this until the day I die, that making a great horror movie is incredibly hard, and I will even say that horror is one of the hardest genre to fucking nail. But I think he can get there. Like, I can already tell that he has a knack for it. So, I can't wait to watch Last Night in Soho, which will happen for me on Friday, because I would have watched it on Thursday, but Thursday is Eternals Day.
I can't go see anything for the next 2 weeks because I have to stay at home. So I missed my chance to see Dune. Today was just a bit busy, basically. I had other stuff I had to do. So I'm probably not going to be able to see it unless it's still there when I'm freed from my house prison.
House prison.
But I won't be able to see Eternals for at least another 2 weeks.
Then we are going to be talking about it. That's sad. Well, I still will.
You'll watch it, yeah. I can't. It's fine. What's great is that I will be able to, and I'll have no excuse no excuse to not sit down and immediately watch all of Cowboy Bebop the moment it's released.
Look, you can't say anything about it because it's happening.
Oh, you
on
have
Comic
to.
Con
No,
Day.
you're not available, but oh my
No,
gosh.
no, I am not.
I'll be very careful not to tweet spoilers.
Please,
Then I try not
please
to on the
don't.
day things come out, unless I really tag them as spoilers. But I do try not to, because I'm aware that there are some people. But like after a certain amount of time, I do start like with like, okay, look, I need to be able to like say specific things about this now. Like I had to wait for people to go see, like my parents to be able to go see No Time to Die, so I could talk about the accidental joke I made when I made my post when I went to go, like when I posted my cinema ticket. You don't mind because you don't really care about James
I
Bond.
don't.
I'm gonna spoil the end of No Time to Die real quick, just in case you were wondering. So mute this now, because I know it's not like out on DVD anywhere or anything. Muted, okay. He does die at the end. So when I posted my Instagram picture and said it's finally time to die, I didn't realize just how prescient I was being.
Nice.
And I kind of was like, shit.
Nice.
It was one of those things where I was like, I should have seen this coming, to be honest.
I did know about that because my brother already told me, so I was like, yeah, makes sense.
Please unmute now if you unmute.
Unmute.
Just in case you can unmute now.
Yeah,
everything's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's fun. That is fun.
It made me, but I had to wait for ages, and it was like you know what I also did? I went and saw Venom again.
Oh yeah, you did. I know. I saw that one.
And it rules. I'm like not even kidding. It's just a great film.
It is a fun one. It is. Have you watched? Oh my god! Have you watched the new Morbius trailer?
I didn't.
It just came out.
No, to be honest, I forgot. I saw it on my thing, and then I kind of went, I don't know if I care enough to watch this trailer. I'd like to see the movie. I don't know if I care enough to watch another trailer about it. Like, I don't know if I want to do. I don't know. It's one of those ones where I feel like it could be not good.
Okay. Is it fine if I talk about it?
Yeah, go no. I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm just not all that fussed about watching another trailer.
So there are a few things in it that are just like a bit like, what's happening? In a good way. Oh. I will say in a good way. In a good way. First of all, there's a reference for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in there, like in graffiti.
That makes sense.
So that's the Raimi universe, and there's an Oscar building popping up as well. Also from it's that one is from the Amazing Spider-Man.
And then the Sony property, so they have the right to use them.
Yeah, but it's all of them together, and then Michael Keaton pops up, obviously, because we already know from the first trailer that he's gonna be in it as well.
I forgot that, so that's very weird.
Yeah, he's and it's an extended scene as well in this trailer, so it's like very intriguing. Like, oh geez, because if you don't know, Morbius is one of the big enemies for Spider-Man. So all these things popping up is not that weird, but there's a very good Venom reference in it. I had to laugh so hard at it.
Here's the thing. Morbius seems so serious. I can't see how Venom could actually live in that space at all.
Look, it's more serious than Venom. I'm going to say that. I will say that it's not. I know. I will say that the design of the monstrous Morbius, because in the comics, he becomes very bat-like and fucking nailed it. Like, I will take my hat off and say well done, Sony, because it's amazingly well done. They finally showed it, and it's beautiful.
There is a shot of it in the last trailer, but it's not.
It's now an extended one as well. You can now properly say it, and it's beautifully done. Like, well done, honestly. And I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil this for you.
No, but I don't care.
They redid the scene, and I was expecting it, but I was like, they're not gonna say that. And it's basically he changes his face, holding a guy hostage, and he's like, "We are Venom." Oh no, man, I'm just kidding. I'm not Venom. It's so good. It's so bad. So basically, what this confirms.
Right, now I have to watch the trailer.
You have to watch the trailer. You have to watch the trailer. But it's all the universes together.
I mean, yeah, I think at least with Venom, that was expected. Morbius and Venom were expected to be in the same sort of space.
Okay, but there are other things in there.
Yeah, the Raimi Spider-Man and the Mark Watt Spider-Man stuff those two being in the same doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I mean, I have guesses.
I mean, considering what's happening, I guess considering certain things, maybe, who knows?
Who knows?
I want to circle back around because Thinneth asked the question, and I just want to answer it. Yeah, he asked if Last Night in Soho is super gory. It is, in a sense. There's a lot of stabbing that happens, but the way that the sort of the way I would say the blood effects feels very sort of 60s slasher or even 60s 70s slasher, where all the blood looks a bit like paint.
Okay.
So it's sort of like, it's very interesting to me because I'm looking at it like, oh my god, that blood looks really fake, but then in my head I'm like, that's probably very intentional on Edgar Wright's part.
Possibly,
sort of his love letter to the 60s. It feels almost kind of Hammer horror-esque in places.
Oh, nice.
With the way that the sort of or like Psycho, that's it sort of thing.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
There's a lot of knife action going on in it, so it's like it's gory in that sense, but not like not in a modern day sense. I think it's very easy to sort of. I don't think it would upset too many stomachs, basically.
Good. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, I can't wait to watch it. Honestly, I'm like.
Yes. I would like to be able to talk. I'll be excited to talk about it with you properly, not me being. What have you got? A knife? No. Just put it in the chat. Truly one of the greatest binds.
Fair. Okay, what do you want to talk about?
I think I'm just trying to think if there's anything else before we get into our little trip to Comic-Con. But I don't think so. The only other thing I would say is that you messaged me very much out of the blue yesterday.
Yes.
And told me that you'd finished The Leftovers. It wasn't even like I've started watching you'd finished the whole thing. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm literally like pulling my phone out to like make a call about like transport because we were like just about to wrap. And I was just suddenly like, hang on, what the fuck is this? So you've watched all of that now. I have to sit down and watch Asher of the North so that I can finish all of the Kingdom stuff. Because I've seen the series, I just need to watch the movie. I'm much more in a space to watch that now as well, because it's sort of like I've given the series a bit of time to breathe in my brain, so now I can just go into this and let it be its own thing. And I think we'll be able to do our singular episodes very soon.
Happy days.
I don't know when we want to do, if we want to do it for the next couple of weeks or if we want to wait because there's like other things coming out. I don't know.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But like that was very exciting because I did. Look, we're wrapping in 5 minutes, so give me an hour to get home and I'm going to grill you.
It's true. That's what happened. I did finish it,
and it was a lot of Lily being like, "Yes, I liked it," and then me being like, "Okay, but what about this?"
I will say in advance that I did really like it. I think it's an excellent show, but I won't rewatch it. That's 100%.
And it's something I get said as well. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's very good. There are some scenes that will live forever in my brain, but it's very depressing for me. So I'm like,
yeah, I think I am a bit. I'm in the weird minority where I find it to be actually quite comforting in some strange ways. But I'll explain that properly when we watch it. I think when we talk about it, I'll figure out a way to put that into words in a way that hopefully makes sense to people.
Fair. That's completely fair, to be honest. That's completely fair.
I do. I just adore it.
Yeah, it's a very good show. Very, very good. Very well done. But yeah, now we can move on to the big meat.
Yeah. So Lily killed it a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. Lord only knows if anybody who watches this came to the table, other than the people that we know, obviously. But you sold so well all weekend, and I'm very proud of you.
Ah, thank you. We did really, really well, like unexpectedly really well. I was like, I had a number in my mind, like that if we reach that, oh my God, we are gods and whatnot. It wasn't a big number. I'm gonna say that it was more in regards of what we did the last 2 times we were able to go before the whole thing shut down. And I was like, if we can reach that, we're good. And then I think, tripled it. Like, it's madness. It was madness. Like, at points, it was so busy that we couldn't leave the table. Like, none of us could. Like, even Katie, Leanne, and everyone who came to the stand actually ended up helping out, because it was just mental, just people rushing in. Like, I think I even told Katie that one of the big things that is, it sounds weird to be wishing for that, but it did happen to me as well, finally, where basically so far we had to talk to people, and which is a good thing. I like to talk to people, and I like to share things with them, and it's nice when you can see the joy on their face. But what I always envied a little bit from other artists is when people just go up to their table, just point like this, you put it away for them, they pay and leave, and that's it. But you can still see that they are very happy with what they chose. And it happened with us as well. And it was like, I don't have to say anything. I don't have to convince you why you have to buy this from me. You gotta just buy it, because what? Jesus Christ. And it was unreal. It was a very, very good experience altogether. But my favorite day was Saturday, because that's when Katie came with Liam as well. And
I was awake I woke up at 5:30 because I had to get a train at 6:30. Because it would, like, basically my train takes like an hour and a half, and then the DLR takes the underground to the DLR takes about half an hour as well. So it was like 2 hours total for me to actually get there. So it was like an early start. And then Lily has since told me she wasn't expecting us to turn up quite so early. But we pretty much just turned up like on doors opening. And then Leanne and I found your table, but you looked very busy and were not paying attention to us. So we just sort of stared at you for about 5 minutes before we actually walked over. We were like, maybe she's not looking. And then Leanne actually got out her phone and like WhatsApped. She was like, "We see you." We were looking at the phone, so it was just like, we'll just go over. But it was quite, and I was just very appreciative of the fact that it was so comfortable immediately. It wasn't even like, it wasn't sort of like, because there are some people I think you meet online and then you meet in person, it's sort of like, I haven't figured out how to talk to you in person, but it was just sort of like, yeah, we've known each other for a year now, and it feels like
yeah,
it's like so sort of simple, and be like, easy.
Yeah, it was so nice. It was, I honestly, first I saw Leanne, because she actually had to came up to get my attention. I was like, just in packing mode, just no, I'm not watching anything. And we are used to the beginning being very slow, so I was like, it's okay. Sarah, my helper, she was beautiful. Sarah,
lovely.
Very lovely. And Sarah's paying attention, so it's all good. And then I heard Leanne's, I think she talked or said something, or I don't know, and I was like, or maybe I just looked up finally, and she was the first person I saw. I was like, oh my God. And even like, same thing, it's the same story as with you, that I've known Liam for a year now, and it was a very, very nice to finally see her in person and not just through a screen. So I immediately went in for the hug, because hugs are good, people. Hugs are very good, especially when you're vaccinated, and it's very good. And then I didn't expect you there. Like that was like, when I saw you, I nearly lost my mind. I was like, ah!
Pretty sure I just went, hey, big fucking man.
Yeah, but I nearly cried. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was close to tears. I was like, it's Katie and in real life. Oh my god. Like that's what went on in my head. But I think I just dropped in. It was like,
you just gave me a hug. It was very nice.
Yeah, it was a very nice one. So yeah, it was a pleasant surprise, very unexpected, very early on. But you know, it was it was natural. It was like, yeah, these are my friends. So
hanging out.
It
was very helpful is that I was able to put my bag behind your table, so I didn't have to carry it around with me all day, which is really nice.
I figured, like, you know.
Every convention I've always had like a massive backpack, and I'll just, after about like a couple of hours, I'm like, oh, I really wish I could get rid of this fucking thing. It was like, it was really nice to be able to just sort of dump most of my stuff and be like, I can just walk around freely.
You did bring a lot of stuff.
I always bring, well, yeah, okay, so I brought a lot, I unintentionally.
Yeah.
I brought, because I wasn't intending to go see Ben for an autograph, and then the night before I went, fuck it, and bought one. And then I was like, oh god, what am I going to get him to sign? It doesn't really make sense for him to sign my copy of Six of Crows, because Darkly's not in Six of Crows. And I'm going to get Freddie to sign my copy of Six of Crows so that he can, because that's Kaz's story, as well as many others, but a lot of it is Kaz's. So I had those, and then I wasn't reading either of them at the time. So I had my copy of Name of the Wind, which Lily gave me, and I am slowly picking my way through. Not because it's very good, but it's just sort of, it's big, and I haven't really had the sort of wanted.
It is.
And it's sort of dense as well, so I'm just sort of like, I have to figure out what everything is for a minute. So it's kind of been my reading on public transport book recently. So I had 3 books in my bag. And I didn't bring a backpack with me. I brought my Critical Role bag because I was like, this will be nicer. It's not quite big enough. It was fine. It wasn't. I've had heavier bags in my life. But it was a bit like, I'm glad that I don't have to carry this around with me all day because my shoulders would have killed me. It is much nicer to be able to walk around a convention where you don't really have to worry about, your stuff being on you, or your stuff being taken either. Because it's like, yes, it's a convention, and pretty much everybody there is also going to be incredibly nerdy like you, but like, it's London, and you never know who's going to be around.
You never know, unfortunately.
It's just that kind of thing. But so it was just sort of like, I know where my stuff is, I know it's been safe, and I'm sort of free. I was only able to get, the only thing myself and Leanne went to the Loki panel, but I was only able to be there for about 5 minutes worth of the actual panel, because they was meant to start at 12:30. I think they finally came on stage was at like 10:02.
Oh my god.
So we were there for all of the pre-show stuff. And then I was like, I have to go in like 5 minutes because I have to go to Charlie Cox. And then I had kind of a similar thing because they were doing the Shadow and Bone panel, and I had like maybe 10 minutes before I had to go for my Charlie Cox like autograph. I would sit down for like 10 minutes before this comes in, and it was actually very entertaining, but it was like, I have no time to watch either of these panels properly. As much as I'd like to.
Yeah.
But everything was very nice. I've mentioned this on, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen the stories that I posted about both the meetings that I had with Charlie and with these two. Just like, because by 3 PM, I'd been awake since 5:30. I'm quite tired. And when I'm tired, I lose the ability to be quite as sort of affluent. So going up to see Charlie Cox with my Betrayal, my program for Betrayal, which was the show that he did last year, for people who might not be aware. Having him sort of like look at it and go, oh, you saw Betrayal? I was like, yeah, I did. It was really good. My mum and I really enjoyed it. And him being like, oh, you're going to go see Tom? And honest to God, what it was it took me a second to realize what he'd said. Like what he meant by Tom. And I was like, what? Oh. So it was sort of like, oh, I realized what you said. No, I'm not doing that. So I went, oh, no. And then it took a second to realize I should have said more. And then by the time that happened, it was like too late because he'd started talking. I was like, oh, shit, I've really fucked this up. But it was also quite nice because what's something that folks might whether they've read his Wikipedia page basically is that he grew up or he kind of very early years grew up in a town that's quite close to where I live. So when he said he goes, oh, so where have you come from today? I went, oh, I've come from Sussex. And he goes, oh, whereabouts? And I told him my local town, because I was like, he actually might know where this is.
Yeah.
And he went, yeah, I know it. And I was like, this is the weirdest thing in the world. So that was quite nice. And he was just lovely. But it was also like, and you went and saw Jonathan Majors. I think you had a sort of easier time with that, to be honest, than I did. I have such trouble in loud places when people are trying to talk to me. So pubs, when loud music is playing, are my nightmare because I can't hear shit. Because it's like loud music plus somebody's voice just like blends together into a noise wall. And I'm just like, can't hear a word. So with the convention stuff, they've obviously got plexiglass in front of everybody to make sure that they're safe from, as a protection for COVID things, and it depending on the person. Because it really varied from person to person, because Ben had some plexiglass up, but he wasn't wearing a mask. But Charlie had plexiglass and he was wearing a mask. But I don't think Jonathan Majors had anything. I think he just was at the table, which is easier for people, those people. But like plexiglass plus a mask, and if the other person is wearing, just so hard to have like an actual conversation. So I really didn't say like anything to anybody. It was running in my head because I was planning on like telling Charlie how much like there's a speech he does at the end of Betrayal that I thought he smashed. Basically, it was so incredible, and I still think about it.
It's very good. Yeah.
And I just didn't get around to talking about it, and I didn't get to mention how Stardust is one of my favorite movies, or like I love Daredevil. That was actually the other thing I'd been rewatching. I've been rewatching Daredevil, but we won't talk about that now. I was just sort of like and I'm tired as well, so I'm like, I don't know how to have a conversation anymore. Thank you for signing my thing. Goodbye. It's kind of the thing I had with everybody. Ben was should I tell this one before, and then I'll let you go off on meeting Jonathan Majors. Because this is now the best picture I've ever taken at a convention. Nothing's gonna beat this. It's so funny.
It is the best picture. Like, I love that picture so much.
I absolutely the picture that I have with Liam O'Brien that's pinned on my Twitter is very like important and personal to me, and I love it very dearly. For all sorts of reasons, because it was just a very sweet encounter and he was lovely and all this sort of stuff. But this is just, it's so funny.
It's top tier.
So, because like, I'm not as well versed in the sort of taking pictures part. I just don't know how to do it properly. I don't have the wherewithal to be able to be like, hello, can we do a pose? Because I have just not enough, I guess, what's the word? Confidence to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And with the plexiglass in place, it means you can't just kind of go in and put your arm around somebody, which is what I'm used to doing. So I kind of walked in and was like, hi guys. And then and they went hello. And then there was a slight pause because I think, again, it was the sort of delay of trying to hear people through glass. And then I went, so I don't really know how to stand. And Ben went, oh man, me neither. It's really awkward always the time. Tell you what if we make the most awkward pose possible? And I went, let's do that. Really much like, thank you for making the suggestion. I'm going to go along with you. And I wish I had the ability to bring that GIF up here, because I think I sent it to you, or at least I sent it to our D&D chat. There's a moment in an episode of the IT Crowd, where Jen, it's like a dinner party, and it's whilst not building characters out. I don't know what episode it is or anything like that, but she basically goes, please act normal, and they all kind of like slump into it, and then she goes, look more normal, and they just kind of get into like a weird position. It's the only thing that was going on in my, which is why you can't see it because my chair's in the way. I'm just sort of standing like, but like in the corner of my eye I could see Ben get into this pose.
I'm not gonna lie, that smile on Ben is my smile when I'm awkward.
So
I'm like,
good, and it's like everything about this.
Yep. That's familiar. That's like,
Because and then later on when I went to go see, because I put my jumper back on, because I actually took it off because it was too warm, and then I put it back on because I was like, this is the defining thing that I'm wearing today. I went back over and he goes, I remember you. I remember the jumper, the apothecary jumper. And I was like, yeah. And I went, it's from Schitt's Creek. And he went, what? Because of the plexiglass. And I was wearing a mask. And he went, and I went, Schitt's Creek. And he went, I'm like, Schitt's Creek. And he goes, oh, right, yeah. I've only seen a couple episodes of that, so I'm not pretty familiar with it. I just like the word apothecary. It's like, you're very sweet.
I mean, that's fair.
I wish I brought them over now, but I got the boat. So I didn't say like anything to Freddie. Honestly, the best part of going to see Freddie was there was a girl in the line next to me who was dressed as Ray. Very sweet. I had a conversation because we were all holding copies of like the special edition copies of Six of Crows, and we were just like, this is nice. We've all got the same book. And nice. We were just having a nice chat about like characters and all this stuff, and we had a bit of a chat about like how, you know, there's obviously this incredible fan base for the Darkling, but Kaz is obviously my boy, but really out of all of like, or out of like, you know, and what we were talking about was Mal, and how it's like Mal's great, and it's like, I mean, I guess the Darkling's fine. Nikolai is best boy. So I was like, I knew I liked you, a person. So I'm like, I gave Freddie my book to sign, and then I hear that because they weren't in the, Freddie wasn't in the booth, he was out on the sort of.
Oh no, yeah, I saw him, yeah.
I was like, I kind of gave him the book. I wasn't really sure what I was going to say in the first place, but like, I got really distracted because the girl next to me was like talking to Hannah, and he asked for her name, and she went, "Oh, it's Katie," and I went, "Oh snap!" It's like,
two Katies.
Sort of like, I'm sorry, Freddie. Somebody here who's very nice has the same name as me. I'm going to tell that. But it's my copy of Six of Crows, which has all these beautiful character portraits in the back. My picture of Kaz. He wrote "No mourners, no funerals" on it, and I didn't even ask him to, which was very nice.
Aww.
And then when I spoke to Ben, he was like, "What do you want in it?" And I was like, "I really don't know. Some kind of quote? You pick." And he goes, "All right. Well, you can have, fine, make me your villain, or." And there was another one, and I don't remember what it was now. But I went for "Make Me Your Villain," but he wrote it in. I got to pick the pen. He was very sweet, the whole thing.
Oh, he's an angel.
Just a very very sort of like affluent and you know, personable guy. Has a good energy about him. Very sweet.
Yeah. He is very sweet and gorgeous.
All very nice.
Yeah,
nice. All things said, very nice. I'm glad I did the whole thing. How was John? Is he a John? Is he a Jonathan?
Jonathan.
He's just John. Yeah. Okay. How was Jonathan?
Jonathan is the sweetest boy. I think I am in love with his style, especially.
I was just thinking about the picture that you had. He's wearing that massive. He must have been so warm. Because he was he looked like he was wearing so many layers, like a really big coat, and like, yeah. I was like, my gosh, it's not cold in the convention center.
I mean, I can understand him because lately I've been like, even at the warmest places, I felt cold, so I'm like, I'm with you on that. I won't even ask questions, but you know, the style as well. It was like I was like, yes, this is talking to me so much. I get and he had the Miss Minutes hat on, so he was beautiful, perfectly representing Loki and whatnot. But my favorite thing, because obviously it was the day where I didn't have anything fandom related on in case of Loki and whatnot. I just had my brand.
Oh, of course, yes, myself. I remember.
Which is like an awesome, really Kate. I can't say my own name. That's how well it's going. T-shirt on.
It'd be like that sometimes.
And you know, it has a bunch of my drawings under the brand, and I, you know, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Scarlet is up there as well, and obviously Captain as well. And I think he really liked it because literally that it was. I will say it was a very nice touch. They put a mirror in there so you can, you know, fix your hair and whatnot.
Did they? I didn't see a mirror.
There was a mirror on the wall. I was like, oh, this is excellent.
I would have looked at it. I would have used the mirror if I'd seen the mirror.
Yeah, that
Especially
was a
my
mirror.
Charlie one, because I was not happy with my hair because I took it down, and I feel like I should have put it up, but it's like there's no thing.
Your hair is beautiful, my dear, as always. You know, I was busy doing that, and I thought that the lady who was standing in front of me was waiting for her turn. So basically, what happened is, because I'm awkward as well. What happened is he was just standing there, and I was waiting for the lady. I was like, are you not going in? And she was like, oh, no, it's your turn. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. And I just took like one step towards the plexiglass, and he went, that's fucking awesome. I was like, for me? Oh, you mean the t-shirt? And he was like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. And I was like, yeah, these are my drawings. Those are your drawings? I was like, yeah, you like it? And he was like, yeah, it's amazing. And he was like, what would you like to do? And you know, I told them I went with the Mr. and Mrs.
I wish more people would be like, what would you like to do? Because that would make things so much easier. If it's like, hey, because like when I went to see Charlie, he did little fist bumps through the glass, which was quite nice.
Yeah.
And then we just sort of stood, and I stood about a foot away from the plexiglass, so I apparently have an aversion to it. Like there's so much space. I was just like, no, I'm not getting anywhere close to that thing.
I mean, to be fair, the person who takes the photo should say that, you know, you can move closer or something, at least, because I saw a lot of photos where people just, you know, stood there awkwardly. And I get that you can fit it in the picture, but like at least help those
honestly
poor people.
It would have been quite nice if she said, hey, you can just like move quite close to it, because then I would have helped. But the idea, it was just something where I was like, there was something very bizarre about the fact that I knew if I had stood right next to the plexiglass with knowing that I wasn't actually like, there was just something weird about it in my head. I was like, this just doesn't seem right to me. But then I saw your picture. I was like, I should have just gotten closer. And he's maybe you keep telling your story. I'm gonna find the picture that I have with Charlie and make it my background to kind of show what I mean.
Okay. Go ahead. But yeah, and basically we just went, like, even if you wouldn't have asked, like, what would you like to do, I would have said that let's do the, you know, leaning against it, because let's use that wall. If it has to be there, like, you know,
that's the attitude that should be, not me.
Because, you know, everyone did the same before me. Like it was, I don't know if it was a pose that he came up with, but everybody was just doing the same thing, and you know, just like touching fingers on the plexiglass, or just pointing at each other and whatnot. And I had the Will Smith pose in my head that we did with Elliot as well, but then I was like, nah, let's do like something cool. And I wanted to go for like not smiling, but I think I was just so happy with his reaction to my t-shirt that I ended up smiling at the picture. So I'm like,
I've made everything dark now because it's all
you made
dark
everything
mode.
dark.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll be back in it. I'll blow the lights out in a minute as soon as I.
Yes, please.
Keep going. Honestly.
Yes. Oh my god, that was
so
like
dark.
So dark. And then the other encounter was thanks to our friend Lauren, because unfortunately she couldn't come to Comic-Con due to personal reasons, and she messaged me and asked me if I could get an autograph for her from Mr. Ben Barnes, who I was lucky enough to meet back in 2019 at London Film and Comic-Con, and I was like, yeah, I would be happy to, because I heard things from my friends. Which I ignored back then, but I was like, "This is my chance."
Oh yes. Oh,
there it is.
Hang on a second. I really should. I should have flipped this. Hang on.
I love your hair. I think your hair looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's
really nice, Katie.
I'm aware that I think I can make it look better, but that's just going to be me being critical of myself, because that's the way we all are about pictures of ourselves, isn't it? So it's there's no way.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. I'm going to switch. Hang on a second.
Flip it.
I'm gonna go in and flip it real quick, but you keep telling your story.
Yeah, and so basically we came up with the idea because you know, it's the book The Soulless that Katie edited and I've written, and Ben is one of the inspirations behind one of the main characters, and I was like, this is a chance to give it to him. I might as well do it. Who knows? Maybe he reads it and gonna be very happy. Oh, he's such a good boy. I love him.
So much space. He's leaning right up against it, and I could have done
Yeah.
the same. Like, I even said when I showed him to Mum, I was like, look, he's leaning against it. He wants you to be close. I'm
Yeah.
like, look, it's fine. It's done now.
we can Photoshop it or do something about it.
I think it's fine. Really.
Yeah.
It's just sort of
I mean, it's still very cute.
This is the way it is. Yeah. There we go.
There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. And you know, so I took obviously the book with myself, and I took a drawing because that's what I do. It's my normal Comic Con thing to do. If there's a person there who I really like, I'm gonna take them a drawing, because why not? I like to see their faces, if it makes them happy or not. So basically, like, I'm not even joking. I think I died at that moment. The moment I stepped in, and I changed a lot since the last time he saw me. I had very long hair, red hair as well, not black, and you know, obviously I had a freaking mask on because it was mandatory for the autograph session. And I stepped in, and he went, "I know you," and I was like, "Excuse me."
Okay.
What? You remember? And you know, he didn't say anything else, and I was like, I immediately, the plexiglass and the mask caused the problem, because I said I came bearing gifts, and he was like, "What?"
Honestly, it's just the way it is. Every time you try to say that, and I tweeted this on the day. I was like, trying to meet celebrities at Comic-Con is, we can't hear each other.
Yes. Basically, but you know, he stepped out from behind the plexiglass, and he was like, "I hate this thing," and I was like, "I know, I hate this thing around my face, but you know, it's what we have to deal with." So basically, I told him that I brought him gifts, and first I gave the drawing, and he literally went like, "I saw this picture on Instagram, Lily Kay. Of course I know you. We met before," and I was like, I might cry. I think this is the moment where tears gonna start falling down very soon. And I was like, "Yeah, that's me. You gave me a drawing. I still have it." I was like, "Okay." "Thank you." I guess I didn't say that. I was just dumbfounded. I was like, "Okay." And he just went on saying like, "I am incredibly talented and such an amazing artist, and he hopes that I will never stop doing this." And I died. I mean, that's what happened to me. I just done right there on the spot. He's a very gorgeous man. I'm just gonna say that.
Like, genuinely very. There are some people, obviously they're pretty on screen, and then you see them and it's like, oh, they are.
Yeah.
Somehow you're prettier.
Yes. The camera helps. The camera helps.
In 3 dimensions, you're somehow prettier. Yeah. I don't understand how that works, but all right.
Yeah, but he's like so much better in real life. But anyway, he's incredibly sweet, and he's just admiring the picture. And then I went in and I said that there's a second gift, and I told him about the book, and he was like, "Oh, this is," you know, because obviously he has his own music that just came out. Very good, by the way. Incredibly good. He's very talented.
I listened to the song that he released before the EP came out, which I really liked, but I just haven't. The trouble was that literally on Sunday, Joey Beatty, who plays Yaskia, his band just released a new album, so that's the only thing I'm going to be listening to for the next 3 months.
Okay.
Very important.
I mean, you can listen to something else.
I won't be
in between. Okay, but it's very good. It's very good. He's incredibly talented. He has a very nice range. Like, Jesus,
he's got a lovely voice.
Lovely voice. Yes. And you know, I even told him that, you know, the same way you just now finally realized your dream with the music and whatnot. Like, this,
I'm just okay with the fact that I'm disappearing.
I can see. So the book is the same thing for me, and you know, he was like, "Oh, this is amazing," and whatnot. And then he started guessing who is he in the book on the cover, and you know, "Is this me? No. Is this me? No." And then he started pointing at the animals. "Is this me? No." He's like, "Trust me, you're in it."
I think you'll figure it out pretty quickly.
You will figure it out. Like, I even wrote like a tiny other short story at the beginning for him. Like, you know, what is this about him? So like, and why does it mean so much for him to read it? So yeah, but he was really nice. He signed a picture. He even said a few words to tell Lauren, who obviously couldn't be there. And then before I left, he said that he really hopes that I keep doing what I do because I'm amazing. And I died. And he winked at me. That's where I died. Double died. I was like, done. Angels, you can take me now. It's okay. I can die now. But he was he's genuinely a very nice person. Like, and it's now like it was my second time meeting him and actually talking to him, and I can confidently say that he's a genuinely nice person. So, I'm very happy for his success. I wish he wouldn't always be cast as the bad guy.
Honestly, that was the only other thing I was thinking about telling him. But again, at the moment, I feel very weird about taking up time in those things where I feel like if I stay and try to have a conversation, I'm going to really slow the line down. So it's sort of like get out very quickly when it's like, I really should just take more time to actually talk to people. But alas. I was gonna say that it's like, listen, my mum wants me to probably wants me to tell you that you have to stop playing bad guy. She wants to see you be a good guy again.
Yes, because he's an excellent good guy. Yeah. Like, come on, he can do it, guys. Just hire him to be a good guy. He's a good guy in my book. I'm gonna point that out. He's a good guy in my book.
He's a good guy in your book. Well, yeah. I mean, the character that has inspired him, anyway.
Yes, yeah. But if Netflix wants to do something with it,
yeah,
just saying that the casting is already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was very special and very nice, and thank you, Lauren, because you made that possible, and I am happy I could help with the autograph for you as well. Yeah, but they are awesome. I am regretting not getting one from Freddie because he seemed awesome as well.
Freddie's way taller than I thought he was going to be. I don't know, something about the way that he's shot in Shadow and Bone makes him seem way smaller. And I don't know if it's just because everybody else is actually very tall. Yeah. But like, I walked in, I was like, Jesus Christ.
He's very tall.
He's really, he's a long boy. Long boy. I thought he would be like 5'9", 5'10", something like that, but he's definitely over 6 foot. I was like, oh wow, he's very sweet, but I really did not have like any kind of a conversation with him because I was like, it was the first autograph thing I'd had that day, and immediately it was like, this plexiglass is going to make it impossible to have any kind of say anything to anybody.
Yeah, it's they're not going to do it at London Film and Comic Con. I don't know if I told you.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do it there.
Look, MCM's the only con I've been to thus far in my years. But there are. I mean, it's not perfect. There are some things about the convention that, especially this year, felt a bit sort of like it felt very lacking this year.
Yeah.
Compared to the last time that I think we both went, which would have been in October of 2019. Where it was like they had massive like installations from so many different places. The biggest like attraction that they had there was a Lush booth, and it was like so obnoxious. It was like a big pink tree, and they were spraying like perfumes at people, even though they'd like without asking, and it was really intensely smelling. They had no like there was no like the last time we went there was a big PlayStation booth, and they had nothing there this time. It was like, I think the only other big thing that was there was for that new Amazon show, The Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
Which I guess they're really big into promoting because they clearly spend a lot of money on it.
A lot of
money.
On
their cruise, though.
Yeah.
Amazon. But yeah, it's sort of like...
Yeah, it was weird.
It's probably first one since they came back. I'm sure it'll sort of build up properly again, but it was a bit bizarre,
a bit empty. A bit empty. I only just realized what was very weird when I was looking back the pictures. Like they always do like huge ass posters hanging from the ceiling.
It was really empty.
Nothing. There was like one Spider-Man statue, which was fun.
Every time I look at it, I was just...
yeah. That was fun. But there were no posters, nothing. Like, at least put that up. They didn't put down the carpet that they usually do for MCM. I will say that the placement of the stands and the booths was much better this way. Like
the spaced out sort of places was way nicer to be able to walk around. Because I mean, obviously there were some less people there, comparatively speaking. Well, it felt less crowded than it. I mean, like in these, when it's full, it's like you can't move anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like it was quite nice to be able to move around and not feel like I'm going to drown in a sea of people. But it was like, yeah, I mean, MCM, you've got some stuff you need to figure out for your next one in London. But I'm sure you're going to do that. Also, you really have to stop putting your autograph sessions so close together. Your days are too packed and it doesn't work.
Oh, it doesn't. No.
I thought that I would have, because I technically was meant to have an hour between my Ben Barnes autograph and my Charlie autograph. I had to go straight to I think I had maybe 20 minutes instead of the hour that I was meant to have, and it was like, good lord, you guys.
Yeah, it was I'm gonna say that the photo op was very, very well done. Like I got there when my timing was coming up, and I only had to like wait for like 5 minutes and I was in.
I had to wait for a little bit, just I had to, because I wasn't as on time with mine, but that was just because I had everything so close together. I had to go from one thing to immediately go to the next thing and then immediately try and go to the next thing. So I basically entered that sort of pen that they had for all the autograph and photographs and then didn't leave for 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you were gone for a long time.
It was like, because I mean, everything I had, the first lot of stuff was really close together, and then by the time I'd finished with the thing that was at 1:40, my next thing was at 2:10.
Yeah.
And I think even then I was late to that, because I actually, because that was my Ben Barnes autograph, and I was in the queue and he had to leave because he had to go to the panel, which is why I went to the panel, because I had a bit of time then before my thing with Charlie, and then I had to go back later in order to go see Ben, because they just didn't have time beforehand. It's like, just, I don't know, man, you've got it all too close together. It's like, it's really quite intense.
They did it very intense. I mean, to be fair, I think MCM is more known about the panels and what they do with it. Like, they are not very good with organizing the autographs and whatnot.
Always, like, I don't know, you were probably there the year that the Critical Role cast went.
Yeah.
It was awful, like really bad. They clearly were not expecting the level of demand that would have been there for them. Matt was basically entirely overbooked the entire day, and that was because Matt was like, I will do as much as I can, basically.
Yeah.
So, but it was just the reason why when I went, I only got a picture with Liam, because there were no autograph sessions left, and I didn't have I honestly also didn't have the money to get like everybody. But like by the time I went to go buy stuff, I was able to get my thing with Brian. I wish I'd bought a selfie at the table, to be honest, but I didn't. That was my mistake, alas. But everybody was sold out like immediately, and like the website crashed the moment they put the tickets up. I remember this, it was just sort of like, you guys really should have been prepared for this, because it's been shown at other conventions. You should have been prepared. This is the first time they're coming to anywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be coming from as far away as they can. It's the same. Anyway, I was meant to see them in May last year, but many were.
Very unfortunate. I'm sure that they're going to arrange it.
I'll do it
another time. Yeah,
as soon as things are open again and they actually can, like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, technically they are, but like, when they feel safe to do so.
Yeah, definitely. I will say that London Film and Comic Con is very good at organizing the photo ops and the autographs. Like, I remember my first one that I did in 2019 in July. where we weren't like merchants or anything. So I was just there for Sunday. So I always choose the last day. Don't ask me why, because I'm an Indian. And I booked down like 6 people.
Damn.
Because look, there were people there that I needed to see, like my dearest Lenny James, who plays Momo in Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, and I had to see him. And then Jason Momoa. I love Jason, so it was obvious. And then Lana Parrilla and Robert Carlyle together, like, hello.
Oh, that's pretty fun.
Like, come on, I love Once Upon a Time. I love Robert so much. He's in my all-time favorite TV show, Stargate Universe, as Dr. Rush, and he did so many things before that as well. I love Robert.
I mean, Robert Carlyle's kind of a legend, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. And then I also had Manu Bennett, who I dearly love as well, and Ben, and I had Ben on that day. So I was like, I need to meet these people, and I ended up going back to Manu's and Ben stable like twice, because we started the morning with them and then ended the day with them with the autograph session. I will also say that at LFCC you don't have to pay for the selfie. If they say yes, you can just take the selfie and that's it. So MCM,
yeah, it depends on the person, because there are some people who just won't take selfies at all, and then there are some people where it's like, if you pay like a certain amount, you can do the selfie.
Yeah, but like Ben Boss did LFCC, and the next year he was booked down for Birmingham, and I remember seeing that there was it was up there that the at the table selfie was like £60 or something, and I was like, that's a bit shitty when he did it completely free at LFCC. Like we have a picture with him.
Yeah, MCM will just seem to like, what's the word, bleed money out of you wherever they can.
Yeah, basically. So I was like, but this time I am very disappointed. I already told you that Clark Gregg, my dearest Agent Coulson, is not coming in November, so he's coming in July instead. So I am now waiting for a Ming Na confirmation that she's still coming, because then I am getting a picture with her, because I love that woman very dearly and I need it in my life. Like, come on, the biggest geek hero for us all. Like, she's in everything, and rightfully so. She's so awesome. But Lance Henriksen is coming, who played my dearest Bishop in Aliens, and then later on in other Alien movies as well. So I am definitely getting him. And imagine my disappointment when I found out that if I would have went to London Film and Comic Con just a year earlier, I would have met Sigourney Weaver.
Oh.
Yep.
Damn, that one makes me hurt for you.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I can leave now. It's like, oh, she's my mom. I adopted her.
Do you know, I rewatched all of the Defenders, because my plan was, after I came back from Comic-Con, I was going to finish, I'd started a Daredevil we watched ages ago.
Yeah.
But I'd stopped because it was pissing me off. Because I got part of the way through season 2 and I was like, Matt's pissing me off too much. So I just kind of left it for a bit, and then I was like, alright, I'll go back to it. Got about 10 minutes into like episode 6 or 7, and then I went, nope. And I decided I'm just going to skip the end of season 2 and go straight onto the Defenders. Sure. And they underutilized her immensely. Yeah. Like, immensely. I really was watching it like, she's really good, and I actually really like this character, but nope, they underutilized her completely. Killed her off in episode 6. I was like, this is really kind of a waste of Sigourney Weaver.
I was very pissed off with that. I was like, this is not...
Also, they really didn't know what they were doing with the lecture, like, at all.
No.
I was really watching it like, oh, they just did not know what the fuck they were going to do with that.
Oh, I was very disappointed in that, because I was looking forward to Sigourney in there, so I was like... Like, literally, like, my face is... oh, God. But
on the other hand, though, season 3 of Daredevil remains a fucking masterpiece.
Oh,
it really does. Like, I really started watching, like, this is just phenomenally put together. All of the themes and everything they decided to put into Series A was so good. And I don't think anything will ever top for me the sort of, like, the reunion sort of episode they have in, like, in episode 11, when they kind of come together, and Matt kind of apologizes, basically, and Foggy's like, you're being shitty, and he goes, yes, I know I've been shitty. It's like, it's really hard to argue with you when you keep agreeing with me.
Yeah.
It's like, I know, I'm sorry. But it's the fact that Foggy's trying to come up with it. He goes, here's my plan. We work together. We figure out a plan. We take down Fisk. It's literally like the human embodiment of step 1, we work together. Step 2, question marks. Step 3, profit.
Yeah.
Every time it cracks me up. It's so funny.
It's very good. Very, very good. Yeah. What else?
Is there anything else? I feel like, because we've been going for, hang on, let me check the thing.
We've been going for a while now.
We've been going for a while. We've been going for an hour and 40, so I feel like we should probably wrap up.
We should probably wrap up. This was once again fun. It's always nice to see
fun.
my friend.
Yes, it is.
And just keep up with us a little bit longer like this in live streams. I mean, I like to do it like this.
I do like to do it like this. We'll have to figure out some way, like sort of backlog way of putting this up on Anchor.
Yeah. I will come up with something, I promise. But we might go back to the old ways. I don't know yet. We're gonna figure it out. But next week we are back, and we're gonna talk about some fun stuff.
We'll figure out what we're gonna do first. I'm sure there will be something.
Yeah. I will probably faint next week and just talk about Eternals without spoiling it for Keaton.
I'd be interested to see what you say, considering
because of the rotten.
Well, not because of the Rotten, just because of the actual reviews that I've read about it, wherein it feels...
I didn't read any of them.
You haven't read any of them? Okay, I'll let you see, because it doesn't sound to me like it's bad. It just sounds like it's been marveled.
Okay.
That's all I'll say from what I've read.
We'll wait and see. I will say that I will be incredibly biased because Angelina and Madong Sok is in it. So
from what I've heard, she's one of the highlights of the film.
Yes,
her and Kumail Nanjiani have been like specifically mentioned as being like some of the best parts of the film.
Yep. I was like,
all right, Lily, calm down.
Okay. I've been posting non-stop about Angelina being a freaking living god. So I'm like, I'm very excited, as you can tell. I was very disappointed that if I would have stayed for 2 more fucking days in London, I could have gone to the Eternals premiere and actually meet her. I did meet her previously. I did. She's incredibly nice and a wonderful human being. But I was too afraid to ask for a picture. And I couldn't because I was working and I was afraid that they're going to fire me if I do that. So just like...
Probably a smart move. But...
Yeah, still, I am still regretting it. I'm not going to lie. But she was incredibly kind. But alas, we will see you guys next week. And we love you all.
Bye.